Developing tonight, a lead prosecutor was in Sanford to start cleaning up the mess in the death of Trayvon Martin.
We're going to get to the truth, hopefully, one way or another.
As President Obama sent a message to Trayvon's parents.
I think they are right to expect that all of us as Americans are going to take this with the seriousness it deserves.
Also tonight, for the first time, we know Sanford police did recommend Trayvon's killer, George Zimmerman, be charged with manslaughter, but it didn't happen.
And a grand jury may not have to happen either. That's what staffers with the new state attorney, Angela Corey, out of Jacksonville, suggested to Channel 9's Darlene Jones today. She begins our live team coverage tonight. And Darlene, about this manslaughter charge that we're talking about with Sanford police and what they suggested, what happened when they told the state attorney about this?
Well, we had a team of people working on this all day, Greg, and our sources are saying that early on, Wolfinger's team wanted more information, but this is certainly an indication that Sanford police didn't completely sit on their hands as the community continues to grow frustrated that George Zimmerman has not been arrested.
Several sources confirmed Sanford police thought George Zimmerman should have been arrested for shooting and killing 17-year-old Trayvon Martin. We're told investigators recommended State Attorney Norm Wolfinger charge Zimmerman with manslaughter.
Why would Norm Wolfinger sit on this?
From my experience, it's possible that he did not have enough information to charge this case. And once he charges this case and the defendant is arrested, the speedy trial clock starts to tick.
That clock means Zimmerman has the right to go to trial within 175 days once he's arrested. And that would have given prosecutors less time to gather enough evidence to make the charge stick.
Several sources have confirmed for us that Sanford police turned over an investigative summary packet that included a charge of manslaughter. Can you confirm that?
I'm not going to confirm or deny anything other than what I've told you.
Bernie De La Rionda is the lead prosecutor now in charge of the investigation to determine if Zimmerman will be charged.
And we're going to get to the truth, hopefully, one way or another.
Governor Rick Scott appointed De La Rionda's boss, State Attorney Angela Corey, out of Jacksonville to take over the case. We were there when they showed up at Sanford Police Headquarters.
Will you start from scratch, or do you work with what you're being given?
We're going to do three things. The first thing is we're going to review everything that's already been done. Second thing is we're going to determine what else needs to be done, from our opinion, and then we'll make a decision.
Angela Corey, the state attorney taking over this case, was in town today to meet with Sanford police and investigators, and while she didn't want to comment, she made her lead prosecutor available for us. Greg Manessa.
And Darlene, the grand jury is set to hear this case April 10th. Is that still going to happen?
That is still up in the air, and it's still very unclear, but what is clear is that it will remain here in Seminole County. It's simply a matter of those prosecutors from Jacksonville being over and in charge of the case.
Interesting interview there. And as always, viewers can reach out to you, Darlene. This is an easy way to do it. They can follow you on Twitter with the @ symbol, then Darlene, and that is Darlene, D-A-R-A-L-E-N-E Jones. So they can follow you and also correspond with you throughout this investigation.
Yes, we're taking all information. It all helps.
It's a good way of interacting.
Good work, Darlene.
Thank you, Darlene. President Barack Obama even reached out to Trayvon's family at the end of a White House briefing today as one parent to another.
My main message is to the parents of Trayvon Martin. You know, if I had a son, he'd look like Trayvon. I think they are right to expect that all of us as Americans are going to take this with the seriousness it deserves, and that we're going to get to the bottom of exactly what happened.
This afternoon's Martin's parents thanked the president for his words. They said, quote, "It is humbling that President Obama took time from his busy schedule to talk about Trayvon. The president's personal comments touched us deeply and made us wonder if his son looked like Trayvon and wore a hoodie, would he be suspicious too?" The biggest rally to date was in Sanford last night, where as many as 10,000 people gathered to show their support at Fort Mellon Park. From Sky Witness 9 HD, it was quite a sight to see on the shores of Lake Monroe. And we heard from local pastors, Sanford's mayor, Trayvon Martin's family, and the Reverend Al Sharpton himself. Today in South Florida, students from Miramar High School marched to show their support. Martin's own high school, where he was a junior, was going to host their second march today, but his mother, Sabrina Fulton, asked them to refrain, so it was canceled. We also learned Trayvon Martin was actually on a short suspension from school the weekend he was in Sanford. We're told he was suspended for missing too much class.
today we met but did not get to speak with the two captains, Darren Scott and Bob O'Connor, who will run the Sanford Police Department now that Bill Lee temporarily removed himself as police chief. But Channel 9's Jeff Deal found out right before he left his post, Lee promoted 5 other officers. Jeff, what else did you learn about those promotions?
Well, the city is saying the officers earned this, that they completed the promotion process at the end of last month. We've learned that several of the officers, though, have been involved in situations that have made the news, including one officer who had an assault rifle stolen from his police car.
No justice, no peace.
With mounting public outrage in the Trayvon Martin case just a day after Police Chief Bill Lee announced he's stepping aside temporarily,
I do this in the hopes of restoring some semblance of calm.
The city manager confirmed the police chief promoted 5 officers before leaving office. John Labrie, John Fauché, and Stephen Lynch promoted to sergeant, and 2 current sergeants, Tony Esos and Randy Smith, to lieutenants. Randy Smith was head of investigations when George Zimmerman shot and killed the teen. You might remember Stephen Lynch was the officer who shot and killed suspect Nicholas Scott in 2010 after Scott allegedly tried to run him down. FDLE decided the shooting was justified. And John Fauché made headlines that same year after someone stole his M4 assault rifle from his car in Volusia County. Today, the city manager also introduced 2 captains, Darren Scott and Bob O'Connor, who will now lead the department. The captains were not allowed to answer questions, and even though the city appointed a new public information officer to deal with this, the city stonewalled us, refusing to say how much the officers made and how much their salaries will increase. Do you think it was right the chief made these promotions before he left office? The new PR person, Lisa Mosca, even ran from our camera when we tried to ask a few questions about the promotions. And we know that the chief is continuing to collect his $100,000 a year salary while he's on leave. The city has also hired a PR firm to help out and handle this situation, Massey Communications. So far, though, the city is refusing to say how much it's paying the PR firm. Reporting live at the Sanford Police Department, Jeff Deal, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Jeff, thank you. Seminole County schools are already preparing for any backlash from students affected by the Trayvon Martin case when they return from spring break Monday. Many students have been a part of the emotional rallies and church services this week, so teachers were told to read up and talk about the facts of the case if students bring it up. Extra counselors will also be on hand. Meantime, local business owners are concerned of fallout and what they may feel from that in the Trayvon Martin case. City leaders have repeatedly reminded the public that Sanford is safe and open for business, and the city manager gave another reminder this afternoon.
Sanford is still open for business. We have a lot of good businesses. We invite people to come and see Sanford. We have a lot of good people here.
In fact, today, downtown Sanford Art Galleries hosted a free art walk, and tomorrow the downtown hosts a craft beer festival. City Hall also changed its hours Monday to close early at 3 p.m. and make room for another Trayvon Martin rally, which will happen at City Hall. Our live team coverage isn't finished. We'll take you live to another vigil for Trayvon, plus what Governor Rick Scott is doing to see if Florida's Stand Your Ground law is flawed. That's all coming up in 30 minutes.